And welcome to Plato's Cave, coming to you from Australia, down under, for Revolution Radio on revolution.radio. Home to ideas that are fresh, reheated, microwaved, all kinds. Today is the 30th of November, 2023. You can catch us on the air, on the line, and onto your smart device. So grab it up to listen anywhere or listen at home on a Grace Tabletop Digital Radio. Important announcement, this is Listener Funded Radio, which means essentially that there's no money coming in apart from you. Okie dokie. So if you can donate, please do. Any currency is fine, including crypto. Still take cash. That's right. And more importantly, maybe you can't donate. And that's okay too. Just tell people about the station. And maybe one of those good folk can, in fact, donate. That would be good. That'd be very good. Very, very good. Another good reason to donate is the archives, which are free, completely without charge for you to peruse at your own leisure, as it were. So a really good reason to donate. Now, before we start broadcasting at you in anger, we would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land from which we broadcast. And Sleepy Dave, where do you broadcast from?
Yeah, that's me, all right. I'm broadcasting from beautiful downtown Darkinjung country.
Thank you, sir. I myself, of course, come to you from the country of the Direct people, and we'd like to pay our respects to elders past, present, and future. Thank you very much. I'll be sneezy. You can be sleepy. We just define happy and then Papa, or
no, I think
maybe Chef.
I'm surly and coffee today.
Surly and coffee. Oh, that's
Take
hilarious.
a picture last longer, kid.
Before we get into anything else, I want to say this: "Ding dong, the witch is dead." What does that mean, Mickey?
Oh, hang on. Kissinger?
That's right. One of the most dangerous individuals of the 20th century, in my opinion, not the 21st for that matter, has finally, or at least so we're told, kicked the bucket. Couldn't have been any sooner either. As you can tell, I really like the guy. He was one of the most dangerous individuals in the 20th century. He is responsible for more death than, well, anyone really.
So he was a big supporter of the wars, wasn't he?
He was a big supporter of all kinds of killing. Either in the war or not, didn't really matter to him.
Little bit killing.
He was actually the one that was parodied in Dr. Strangelove, How We Learned to Love the Bomb.
Oh, wow.
Do you remember the guy in the wheelchair?
Oh, I remember that. Peter Sellers.
Okay.
Yep.
Peter Sellers, of course, but he was actually taken off Henry Kissinger. Because Henry Kissinger, as we all know, is German. That's right. He's German. That's what he is. And he was super dangerous. I can't repeat this often enough. He lived to 100.
That's a pretty good age.
Yeah, I know. It's a pretty good age. Yeah.
The way I'm going, I don't think I'll get there.
Yeah. He was actually a Jewish refugee fleeing the Nazis. You'd think that his policies would have been different considering what he lived through.
Mm-hmm.
But no. He was right up there. He was actually an indicted war criminal. I don't know if you know this. But he actually was. And he was a really dangerous kind of guy, especially in Vietnam. Anyway.
Did he get himself pardoned? How do you avoid getting...
No.
No.
See, because the International Criminal Court and the national any international body doesn't have any authority over anyone. Okay, so who cares? He actually received the Nobel Peace Prize, which I find hilarious. Look, the truth is that he was a horrible human being, and the world would have been better without him altogether. That's my opinion. You don't have to do that. Let me put it this way, right? He supported all of the dictators. In Zaire, which is now known as another country, he supported Mobutu Sese Seko, and he was a dictator, that guy. And he said it was a success to have this guy there. It was a brutal dictator that killed so many of his own people that we have lost count. I don't even know what to say about this guy. No, he was dreadful. Good thing he's dead. That's all I have to say. Good thing he's dead.
Let's not give him too much airtime.
No, look, I just want to be happy that I want everybody to understand just how happy I am. That's the key thing.
I think that came across.
Yeah? Did I overshare? Am I oversharing?
No, I think that was good. Well balanced story, that one.
Well balanced, yeah. We've seen all the sides now.
Did you know, I think it's today or tomorrow, Mickey, I don't know when it is. It's Australian rock.
You stopped my tirade? Go on, yeah.
Well, no, it's Australia's rock band T-shirt day. I think it was today. But if you're in America, it doesn't matter. You can just wear it tomorrow. So if you've got an AC/DC T-shirt, that's what that's all about. And the segue is, did you know, Mickey, you know how there's pretty boy bands, right? I'm not gauging their beauty, but, their audience does, usually 12 and up, female. Well, the antipode, I tried to draw that word into this story. So the antipode of a pretty boy band, Mackie, do you know what band that is? If you click the story I sent you, you'd know. No? The Pogues.
Sorry, you completely cut out for me.
Well, I can still hear you for some reason. So I can hear the mouse and not breathing. But
okay. I can hear like I heard that, but when I couldn't hear any of the other stuff at all.
Oh, really?
Pretend I did. The answer is yes. Sure.
Well, yes. The answer is yes, and the antipode of a pretty boy band is the Pogues. And unfortunately, we've lost Shane McGowan, who was their lead singer. And he, the fairy tale of New York singer who had been diagnosed with viral encephalitis, that's brain swelling, that's really bad. And he passed away, sadly. They said that he had sung one of the most popular beloved Christmas hit. And I don't know what it was. So if anyone in the chat room can tell me, that'd be fantastic. But it's that, Mackie, you know what? When entertainers die, I really have a hard time with it. I really do.
Because...
Well, they entertain you, see?
Ah!
Right?
There you go.
Kissinger's death, I don't have a hard time with that at all, right? Yeah, he had a good innings. Yeah, he might not have been a tremendous fellow, but, he lived and he died. Okay, there you go. But, Phil Hartman, that hit me more than Michael Jackson. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
So, hearing someone who's only played music to, make either people think, enjoy themselves, or hate on life, or whatever the motive behind the words are, or how you interpret hearing those words, and how you apply that to yourself or around you, whatever, however that is, because music is so versatile, right? It can do all those things. It can bring you up, can bring you down, can actually lift you out of a slump.
Can turn all around.
There you go. I'm spinning around. So it can do a whole bunch of things for you. And I think that's part of the beauty of that art. And to lose anyone who's, not in the public eye, but because music has such a special talent, I think for me it's actually pretty hard. So, long live that fellow, Mackie. So, I know we've been following from time and time again. Iceland. What's going on? 800 years, right? And they said, oh, this trouble could last 200 years. Wait a minute. No. We're seeing some of the most earthquakes we've ever seen around the world. We've got, 3 CMEs all coming to hit us tomorrow and the next day. They're all different speeds, but they should hit almost at once. We might actually get aurora in the southern latitudes from it. It's so strong, this one. It's not the kill shot.
That's interesting.
Not the kill shot, but we might lose some, satellite comms, right, throughout. And it was a full halo, so this last burst is straight at us. But it wasn't huge, right? So, with all the stuff going on, I'm watching Iceland's earthquakes dip and then get strong again and dip, and the crevices are getting larger, and there's a lot of it's outgassing a whole bunch of stuff. And is it still building towards something fantastic? Because Mackie, up in just north of Australia in the little island chain, we had one of the largest, certainly the largest this year, volcano explode. It wasn't in the media, and it ended up resulting as like a 6.5 earthquake. And there's been a series of 5s on top of that, and no one hears about it. And then 5 spread across east and west, and then we got a bunch of 2s, even in Sydney, Adelaide, near Perth. No one, never hit the news. Why? Because, as the news goes, I'm going to call them ambulance chasers, and that's my name for the news now. And it is all about the plight because of the storms, Mackie. Those storms. We had a place, Mackie, that had, just in the south coast, 400 mil in 24 hours. Crazy.
Well, 2023, they say, is going to be the hottest year in recorded history.
That's right.
So as far as we can tell, ice core samples, tree rings, whatever method we use to determine the weather and temperatures in the past, we are now living in the hottest year ever. Average temperature, average global temperatures I'm talking about, right? If you're saying, oh, but it's really cold where I am, you're not really getting the point.
The other people who say there's an ice age coming and that Australia's doesn't exist.
Yeah, no, of course we don't. We were sitting in a bunker just under Texas. Actually, we are under Denver Airport. That's where we are, Dave and I. We're sitting under Denver Airport. Yeah. Hey?
Yeah.
But, my bunkmate is actually, don't worry about it. It's too far off track.
As long as you pick Mackie, as long as you're the big spoon, it's okay.
I know. But
just saying. So my bank is filled with all those royalty checks from all of the crisis acting we have to do.
Oh, brother, I probably died 58 times this month.
Oh, wow. Gee,
I know,
getting some. You got a side gig.
I can afford butter on my bread now. But it's crazy that way. I tell you what, though, I listened to a gentleman from Conjola region of New South Wales. He's got a big farm there. Anyway, it's south of Sydney, a couple hours. And he said what has been happening is that the underbrush is the worst it has been in a long, long time. So if we're getting hot temperatures and drying it out, and there's a bushfire, it will have the most fuel in years.
Yeah, that's
There's
right.
never been this much fuel, and so for Australia, this could be a pretty horrendous.
The second comment was a different farmer I saw being interviewed today.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I mean,
not the same one.
Not the same. It's the same. what do we do? What do we do? What can we do? Not a lot, not terribly much. But again, it's another person, Kissinger gone, that is not going to be held to account for their crimes, and crimes they were. I don't care which way you dress it up. And you know what? I was really surprised today, Dave.
How so?
I had some time in the evening. I was just preparing some stuff, doing some work, and on my laptop, and then I was watching a movie at the same time on my Apple machine. And the movie I watched was Freelancer with the ex-wrestler guy, or Senna. John Kenna, I think his name is. I can't remember his name. Anyway, the point is that I thought it's going to be a bit of a, so that's why I had a line running in the background type thing. But no, I was completely wrong. It was Freelance, that's it. I was completely wrong. This movie was surprisingly honest. And it's, while ostensibly an action comedy, right? It dealt with things like corporations, killing heads of state, propping up dictators, trying to get to the resources, employing mercenary forces to kill the people if they don't get their way by bribery or blackmail. And I thought, okay, that's different, because I thought it would unfold like a normal Hollywood plot where the bad guys get punished in the end. Not at all. Not even close, dude. And this awareness. So if you haven't seen it, I do actually recommend it. I surprised myself saying it here. I can't find What the Bleep Do We Know, though, anywhere free to air.
Okay.
I have a copy of it. I bought many years ago, but I can't find it anywhere to actually view. Even on YouTube, there's only a trailer. What I also realized when I was looking for stuff was that Jose Escamilla's site is gone.
Yeah.
It's gone, and I can't find his movies.
Yeah, right.
Which, as you might remember, he's the guy that first identified rods.
Mm-hmm.
But he also
Color of the Moon.
From the Clementine mission, he collated
right.
an amazing amount of footage. Together, he was working with an amateur astronomer whose name now escapes me. He's actually on the show.
Yeah,
both of them were on the show.
Yep, both were.
Now, Jose, of course, has now passed on. May he rest in peace. But I think it's such a shame that his stuff just doesn't seem to be around anymore. Or at least I can't find it, So that's a shame. Anybody who's got access to anything, please let me know.
So, Mackie, I wanted to... This is really weird. It's a weird news story. And it was... Paris Hilton has confessed to... I'm just paraphrasing here. She hooked up with Prince Harry before he met Meghan.
But did he?
It could have been yesterday. I really don't.
No. But I mean, did they really? Is there any proof? Because she'll say whatever she can just to stay in the headlines,
Oh yeah, she has a person that just does that for a living.
She's famous for being famous, brother. That's what she's famous for.
Yeah. She was on Hot Ones. She did Hot Ones during COVID. That's where you eat the progressively hotter chili things and get Sean Evans asked you questions. And she was taking such ridiculously small nibbles. I don't know. Maybe a quantum atom was... Maybe she tasted something. I don't know. It just didn't look to me like she didn't finish the wings, right? There was nothing proud about her work in eating those wings. There are people that have gone on the Hot Ones show. First we eat, I think. First we feast. And devoured the wings and done everyone proud. Everyone who looks goes, man, that's... Wow. good for you, right?
Respect.
Yeah, totally respect, But not her. And then she was talking in such an uppity, I don't know, you can't say it accent, like a provincial speech manner. That when Sean said, yeah, but I've seen that show that you did with that other friend where they were just party girls, if anyone's familiar with Paris Hilton's TV work.
Her cousin.
Hmm? What was
Yeah,
it
no,
called?
but that was her cousin.
Yeah.
That was her cousin.
Well,
No. The girl was her
yes,
cousin.
no, I understand. Paris wasn't her own cousin. It was Paris's cousin that she was with. Yes, I know. I get that. But because there was such a distinct difference in how she spoke, one, the TV show, she sounded real, and now she doesn't. Is that to do with the inheritance because she hit a milestone and inherited a whole bunch of money? Or is she being, tapped on the shoulder and said, you got to behave now, right? Let's get you through finishing school or something. Because, wow, big difference. And she goes, oh, no, I was just putting that voice on. That's what she said. Okay, sure. Sure you were. Yeah. I think this is the one you're putting on, and that was your real one before. Well,
let's go with that for sure.
Well, yeah. But anyway, I wanted to bring that up as well because it was just... Look, I'm really not into Hollywood news. I used to watch... Remember, you heard it on E! Yeah, I used to watch that on Foxtel all the time when I was growing up.
E! News, I remember that. Yeah.
What was that show? Like Lifestyles, and I used to watch Lifestyles of Rich and Famous. I used to watch the other one. I forget the name of the show now. But it was all about Hollywood and all the people, and it wasn't trash. It was
popular culture is not really my forte.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't really mine either, but I did kind of. Oh, I've got it in my head. I can even hear the jingle. But anyway, so it was only the positive side of everything, because it was more that era, Mickey, back then when you kind of aspired to be like them. You wanted to be. They were the... I can hear my brain saying, don't you dare say those words out loud. Right? Like the upper echelon of our society. They were the nice, rich, famous people. Parasites, yeah, that's right.
Parasites. Yes.
But that was the era when we didn't believe in the parasites, Mickey, back then. Because you could attain that too. You could. Really, you could. And you might hate yourself the rest of your life, or you may just, mold into it like that comfy chair with the ruts that you've been sitting in for the last 30 years. You could just feel comfortable. Yeah. You could have a sham marriage with somebody to bring their fame up. Oh, sorry. I'm not trying to destroy Hollywood.
You could.
I'm not trying to destroy it,
but that never happens.
No. So anyway, all I'm saying is that it's a crazy world, and remember what we used to see to what we see now. The people up there that are being shown as the successful people, the rappers. I don't mind actors. They're not so bad. But the people with their songs, like WAP, and there's a bunch of others I can't say on the radio, but is that what we're meant to be looking up to now? What? Right? I think before they were commentaries. Are they still commentaries? Is that really what's going on? Or have you just decided to, I don't know, burn the envelope? There used to be an envelope, push in the envelope, but now I think it's gone. I don't think there is one anymore. So it's certainly changed. I think that's what I'm trying to say. The position we were in and the position those famous people were in is a stark difference to what it is today. And anyone who wants to be famous for famous purposes only, just to be famous, don't know how I'm going to be famous, but it doesn't really matter how I get there. And it's all different. I think we're still advertising the fact that you can do it. You could be on Real Housewives, right? And just dig up dirt. Is this the new trashy magazine from the stands when you're going through the checkouts at your grocery store? Is that what this is now? Is that what the television has turned into? I wonder how many seconds Becky's behind.
No, I can only catch every fifth or sixth word you're saying. Sorry, brother. That's it's. I don't want to interrupt. That's all.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to hand it back to you.
It's a connection between us because the chat says they can hear both of us just fine.
Oh, that's good then. All right. Well, I'm handing it back to you, Mackie.
Yeah, it's just our connection. It's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good. No, it's all good. Look, the only thing that really stood out to me this week was how quickly the news focus changes, right? How quickly everything becomes focused on something else. Again, the Ukraine war might as well be over. The war in Gaza is now in a standstill, even though another 3 people just got shot. All eyes are now on the death of Henry Kissinger, and that'll be the news for the next 3 or 4 days as well. The news cycle is going to chase itself again. It's a never-ending melange of badly edited, in my opinion, news items because you don't get the truth. You get a side, you get an opinion, you get some facts. You do. I mean, the basic ones, but beyond that, it is nothing. So let me just tell you something that happened this week in a number of schools that my kids and my friends' kids go to. They've got a free period, right? Like something, and the teacher usually throws on a Disney movie or something. And a couple of kids said, "No, we can't watch Disney." Oh, okay. Why? Oh, because they're supporting Israel. We're supporting Palestine, so it will upset us if you play Disney. I want to be very clear here, right? And people are now bringing their hatred and bigotry to countries where it just doesn't belong, like Australia, even America, right? You got an issue with any of the things that are happening anywhere else? Same in the Balkan Wars. I was at Sydney University while the Balkan Wars were going on, or for part of it anyway.
Yeah.
And there was massive animosity between Serbs and Croats and so forth. At university, there was graffiti everywhere. And I have to say this to you, if you're one of those people, leave. Yeah. Leave this country and take all of your baggage with you. Don't come back. Do not come back, ever. People come to places like Australia to leave that kind of stuff behind. If you cannot, leave. No one is forcing you to be here. Go. You think life is better there? Stay there. Fight for whatever you want to fight for, but don't bring your garbage here. And I speak from having a lot of garbage myself, okay? But I'm not bringing it here. I'm not discriminating against people. I'm treating everybody as they should be in Australia, which is equal. Anybody who feels differently should not be here. Full stop. This has nothing to do with freedom of speech. It has nothing to do with cultural sensitivities. This is BS. Right? For the same reason people don't say Merry Christmas anymore. Now, I'm probably the least religious guy you'll ever meet. Oh, that's not true. I've got another friend who's much more atheistic.
You heard it here, folks.
But I grew up in a Judeo-Christian kind of world. My father is Turkish, meaning he was I guess a non-practicing Muslim, so half my family is Muslim. Mom was brought up Catholic, but she didn't practice either. In fact, she left the church so she could avoid the taxes. It's in Germany. If you're a member of the Catholic Church, you got to pay 10% tax for your church membership, believe it or not.
Wow.
I don't know if that's still the case. And my grandfather was a free thinker. My grandmother was also Catholic, staunch Catholic. And she also did astrology, and she also did cards. She read fortunes from cards. So you try to reconcile all of that. Good luck to you. My point is this: none of that needs to come here. You come here, you do what you do, you live your life, you do the best you can. I hate it when people tell me I can't do something. Disney is supporting Israel. Okay. It reminds me of the Bush administration, Dave. Remember they created their own reality, freedom fries. They're not called French fries anymore. They're freedom fries now.
That's right.
Freedom fries, really? What were they called? Cheese-eating surrender monkeys is what they call them. Cheese-eating surrender monkeys is what they call the French. Just because they didn't want to go and be part of an illegal war, as it were. It was actually an illegal war in Iraq, okay? Let's be very clear. Sorry?
Oui. What are you doing in England? Mind your own business.
With your excrement at you. But the ultimate problem with all of this is that people can't do this. And these are kids in year 3 and year 4 that we're talking about here that they said to the teacher, no, we can't watch the Disney Channel. So the teacher, being a teacher in Australia, which is so permissive and falls over backwards just to please everybody, then the kids couldn't watch the Disney Channel.
Of course.
Okay? For the free period, which I think, no, it's not like the kid is allergic to peanuts, so we can't bring peanuts to school. I was on a flight once. I was very young, youngish. It was the first time I'd ever experienced this, and they didn't serve peanuts. Normally, they had these little packets of peanuts they served on flights.
No,
right?
I remember that.
They served some cracker mix. And I asked my parents, I said, why is that? Because there's a person on the plane that is severely allergic to peanuts. I said, okay. And even a molecule of peanut could kill them. I said, right, okay. This is not that. You're not going to die from watching the Disney Channel, okay? And some people will support Israel, other people will support the Palestinians, and other people will support someone else, and some people will have no opinion at all. They don't care. They don't care. Now, the truth is this. Palestine was there for a long, long time, right? And then after World War II, there was a conflict, there was a revolution, there was a war. They were fighting the British, they were fighting each other, and in the end, Israelis, the people that wanted to create the state of Israel, as it were, they won. They won, and they, did that. And was it a just thing? Is war ever just? No. Is it a good thing that Palestinians live in camps? No, that's a terrible thing. That's the worst thing possible. And as long as Palestinians live in camps, there will not be peace. Because how can you possibly guarantee a future and hope for your children if you live under those conditions? So it's a self-defeating system completely. Is there right or wrong here? No, there is no right or wrong. It's really, really terrible, and I can't swear on radio, but you can imagine the words I'm using right now, right? It's a terrible situation, which nobody really wants to resolve, because people can have too much to gain personally. Think about where all the leaders, the political leaders of Hamas, where are they sitting? They're sitting in Qatar, in mansions or penthouse apartments or whatever. They're not there being bombed. Their people are being bombed. The people that ordered the attacks, they're not in Gaza. Okay? They're not in Gaza. They're saying, we have to sacrifice our own people to achieve liberty. Well, you go and fight then. You get bombed. You go back to the Gaza Strip. You do that out of Qatar, and you be bombed then. See how you feel about sending people over now. I find this hypocrisy sickening. There's nothing worse than people that have other people fight their wars and their battles.
Yeah.
And the Israelis are no better. They're in the occupied territories and illegally occupied territories according to United Nations resolutions. Let's be very clear here. Let's understand the situation legally. Okay? Does Israel have a right to exist? Sure. Do the Palestinians have a right to their own homeland? Yes, they do. Are the two ever going to come together? Probably not.
Nope.
Is there anybody here that is in the right? No.
Mm-hmm.
Are there people here that are in the wrong? Yes. Are there oppressed people here? Yes, there are oppressed people here. If you don't understand history, and you don't understand the 20th century, especially the history of the 20th century and the 19th century to some extent, then you can't understand what's going on, and you should not be part of the conversation. So just shut up, right? It's just shut up. Don't say anything, because you're just going to embarrass yourself. But by the same token, you can see how quickly world opinion has shifted against Israel.
Yeah,
Israel
right.
had all the sympathy in the world. Remember? What a terrible attack! More than 1,000 Israelis were killed. Horrible, horrible, horrible. Which it was. Horrible thing. I still am not entirely convinced that the attack wasn't allowed to happen, but it's neither here nor there. And then all of a sudden we've got more than 10,000 Palestinians that have been killed since hostilities began. 10,000. So you kill 1,000 Israelis and then you kill 10,000 Palestinians, and is that justice? I don't know. I'm asking you. Is it? It is a horrible situation, and there is no right or no wrong. And I hate it when people say, "Oh, well, I can't watch the Disney Channel because they're supporting Israel." Well, are you supporting the Palestinians? Are you supporting the inhabitants of Gaza? Yes. Or then we can't eat hummus anymore. What? I mean, these arbitrary things first of all, how do you know that? And secondly, if you do that, then you have to find out every company and every organization that is supporting Israel. You have to find out all of them. And then you can no longer partake in any of their products. Okay?
That's right.
All of them. You have to find out that's the ultimate thing. You can't just pick and choose what you don't want to do and what you don't want to support. You have to be very thorough. Publish a list. These are all the people supporting Israel, so we will no longer have anything to do with them commercially. If you do that, knock yourself out. Right? But don't force it on my kids. Okay? Because I'm not coming to your house and forcing you to do anything.
That's right.
Right? I find it really angers me. It really makes me angry. It's the same thing with saying Merry Christmas. Can't say Merry Christmas, Dave. Can't say Merry Christmas.
Apparently.
Why? Oh, we might offend someone. What? I'm sorry. It's and a biological man cannot use a woman's bathroom. I don't care. You get an operation, you get all the parts removed, then you get your hormone treatment, use all the bathrooms you want in the world. Until then, you're going to use your biological bathroom. Okay? I don't care how it makes you feel inside. I don't care. Because too much stuff has gone down because of our permissiveness, damaging people. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm getting sick and tired of people not wanting to hurt other people's feelings. There's a great meme I saw, Dave.
What was that?
Great meme. I saw this. This generation of parenting. Yeah, this generation of parenting is all about, oh, don't cry, I'll buy you something. Oh, we get you a trophy too. Oh, cuddle, cuddle, cuddle. Mollycoddle, mollycoddle, mollycoddle. My generation, if I cried,
here we go.
My dad would say, you want to cry? I'll give you something to cry about.
That's right.
Okay? Let's be very clear here. What we have done to our children is criminal. It is criminal. Oh, you can't shout. Oh, you can't raise your voice. You can't get angry. Oh, we have to resolve all conflict. That's not how the world works. That's not human beings. We should work, but it isn't. A friend of mine had never raised his voice to his kids, ever. And they're just not used to it. So conflict in there was very low key. I mean, they're very phlegmatic and very nice people. But then his kid would join a sports team recently. And it was F-bomb this. And the B artillery came out and it was just shoving and pushing and screaming. And I think she was a bit shell-shocked, to be honest with you. But that's what happens in the world. I mean, you can't shelter your children from everything. You got to prepare them for the world. Okay, because the world is a real place. Okay, and not everybody gets a trophy. That's the thing with the generation coming out. No, oh, I used to get a trophy for everything. And now I'm in the workplace. You expect me to be here? What? When? And what? Every day now? We're working every day? So sorry, you were saying to me, I have to come here every day. And why can't I get paid? I want to get paid more. This is not enough money. I can't afford my smashed avocado toast with this.
Yeah.
Come on, what are you doing? Do you know what I'm saying, Dave? Am I overreacting? I don't know. Tell me.
No, you're not. No. It's starting from the top. So, offending someone is simply that. Someone has taken something and been offended by it. Now, what does that mean if I'm offended? Because I want to be able to use that. I do have ADHD, but I'm sure. But I'm empathetic. So, I do feel the hurt that someone has. Even when someone falls down. And I watch someone fall down, either even on a video clip or whatever, right? I actually kind of feel it. And I go, that would be awful. And I don't laugh because someone's hurt themselves or had a mishap, because I always put myself in that position. The thing about, I think they're trying to make it illegal to mispronounce somebody, right? That's just, right? No, that shouldn't be a thing. I think if you were to do it intentionally, then you can hurt someone's feelings, but it's not, I don't believe it should be an illegal act to do that, even intentionally. Because you're allowed to swear to a certain extent, intentionally. And that shouldn't be, you in some places in the world,
yeah, absolutely.
It's a profanity.
There's context too. Yeah,
it's a profanity, and you can be, in different parts of the world, there's different laws around it. But there's a certain amount of swearing, where as long as you're using it correctly, the constabulary will look past it. If you're doing it, in amongst a mixed audience, that's kind of bad. You have to be proud enough to use it when it's necessary, but otherwise, try not to use profanity, right? But that's kind of the same. They're only words, and how someone takes it is different, right? If you're in a house where everyone was swearing and you're kind of used to it, it's fine. But if you're like Ned Flanders' kids, right? You can be quite shocked by it. Yes, I get that. Right? You Rod and Todd. Poor Rod and Todd. They were sheltered into believing the world is like that, and it isn't. Because, open at the door and wow. It's not like they've got to be spooning in prison with someone. But, if we were all very civilized to each other like we had before, like we worked towards doing. I'm not Jesus, by the way, right? I'm not trying to say world peace. I mean, just being civilized and civil to each other so that we can aspire as a civilization to get better. Because at the moment, we're going down the path of, was it Dune? No, the other one. Blade Runner. We're nearly there.
That's right.
We're nearly at a point where, we should have gone, oh, really? Is that what we were doing to ourselves? I thought each generation was kind of just, oh, yeah, we were taking one step into the wrong direction. At some point, will we ever have, a civil society again? I'm not asking that we go back to Victorian times and cover ourselves up from neck to toe, head to toe, and don't show any skin anywhere. And what was that Pride and Prejudice author, Becky? Oh, I forget the name. It isn't like we're living in a novel, like a period piece, right? But at least we could try. And using pronouns and making all that illegal And I heard your example, a beautiful example about the change rooms or toilets. Yes, even the Olympic Games, if I wanted to compete in a specific male or female gendered race, you've got to, and this is part of the Olympic Games, to apply to be in one of the events, you have to have a genetic test to prove your authenticity in the gender that you're attempting to compete as, and I think that's valid. So if you're born male, you can only compete in the male events. Doesn't matter what you've done to yourself. Just the way it is. So, if there's a lot of people who, Becky, I don't know whether you could blame the short video clips, the TikToks and the Reels, for teaching people. Maybe teaching people opinions that aren't factual. I'm not saying we get rid of it, but I mean the people who are using that as their form of education and then going in absolutely stupidly into an argument where all of the facts they're going to present are all so grossly inaccurate that they do make a fool of themselves. I've seen a bunch of videos where people are talking about gender or the Palestinian-Israeli conflict and taking a stance from one side or another. It's irrelevant, where they do embarrass themselves because they bring up things that aren't true. It's an atrocity that Israel should take more lives than Hamas had taken. Well, what do you think about the US? What do you think about England? What about France? What about each one of those countries in a war has taken more people than they lost? It is war, after all. They called it a war. And then it's game on. So, I think Dresden's a great example. Just bombing civilians. That's what they used to do, carpet bombing. I can't say this on air as much as I like to say it playfully, that it was a different time then, Mackie, when carpet bombing was allowed, right? It's really not allowed now. You've got to be tactical, strategic and tactical. You've got to get in there and take out the high-value targets. And Mackie, one thing that I thought was really funny, I'm going to hand it back to you, and that was that the tunnels that they're all talking about in the news, do you know who built them? The Israelis built all those tunnels in Gaza when they were managing it. Did you know that? I've seen the actual footage.
No,
I've seen the actual footage of the commanders at the time saying we've built all these tunnels under Gaza and under the hospital in particular. So they're being used by Hamas, is what the news is saying, but they were calling it Hamas, made tunnels, or suggesting that they were made by them, or inferring at least, but that wasn't true. And I saw someone once again on one of those short reel videos attempting to demystify the tunnels, only to their own detriment, because the person knew more and then was able to support it by providing video evidence that they're from the 70s or whatever it was, the 80s, 70s, 80s. Crazy. So, look, I learned some things this week that I didn't know. But I'm really pleased, Mackie. I'm pleased that we can do that.
Yeah, I agree. But of course, the first casualty of wars is truth.
Who
truth
says that?
is the first casualty. The propaganda moves in. You've got actually it was more like 15,000 people in the Gaza now killed.
Mm-hmm.
whereas the Israelis say that's a complete fabrication. But independent sources seem to confirm those high figures for the Palestinian dead.
It'd be good to be made a ghost, Mackie, where you were said to be dead, then you can just reinvent yourself again.
That does happen.
Mm-hmm.
But look, let's not quibble over numbers. See, this is the thing, right? It was a very interesting thing. I know we only have a few minutes, but this is important. They asked this group of people, just regular people, 10, 20 people, just a focus group, let's call it. And they said, they were talking about road death statistics, right? So how many deaths a year is acceptable? Like how many road deaths? Is it 50? Is it 100? Is it 10? Is it 1? Whatever, right? And some people would say, maybe 20 a year or 10 a year or whatever it might be, or 50 a year. And then each person said a number. Each person, some people agreed and said the same number, right?
Yeah.
And then something very, very clever was done. They brought in people that were friends and family of the people that had chosen a number, right? So if you had chosen and said, 10 people are acceptable as casualties on the road, they brought in 10 of your friends and family. And said 50 and so on and so forth, right? Of course, once you put a name and a face to those statistics, you go, well, what do you think now after they had done that? What do you think? How many are acceptable? And then they go, well, none. 0.
Mm-hmm.
No casualties are acceptable. Because all of a sudden it's a real thing. Because you can talk about numbers all day long. It means nothing. You talk to the police and the emergency response teams and the firefighters that do respond to these accidents and such, and ask them how many are acceptable.
I got a paramedic friend, Mackie, and he helped me through my fatalities. Yeah,
but the thing is, these people. I can only imagine how traumatic this must be for these people, right?
The worst, they said, the worst ones are first, and then even worse is when it's a child.
Of course, always. There's something deeply wired within us to react this way.
Mm-hmm.
In regular folk, I want to say, okay. But as a statistic, who cares? It's just a number. Who cares? Until it's you, until it's someone you know, and then it's no longer acceptable. How many are acceptable? None. 0. Okay. Well, you said 10, right? So are you saying 2 now? Okay, which 2? Your brother, your friend, your sister. Which one? Oh. The answer, of course, as I said, is 0. And that's where we are with the statistic. 10,000 dead, 15,000 dead. It doesn't mean anything. You kill one person, you're a murderer. You kill 20, you're a serial killer. You kill 1 million, you're a conquering hero. And that's how we function as people. You look at the people we worship almost in our histories. Alexander the Great, Julius Caesar, Genghis Khan, mass murderers.
Yeah.
Every last one of them. Yeah. bloodthirsty mass murderers.
Making millions.
Yes. Destroying entire civilizations, in fact. Okay? But no, they're heroes. They're cultural icons. No, they're not. They're not. What about the people that actually pushed civilization forward? Yeah, the Einsteins, the Newtons, the Da Vinci's, and so forth. The Platos, for argument's sake, right? But what about them? We remember them, but we don't hold them in the same esteem or awe as we hold these great conquerors. You know what great conqueror means? It means someone comes to your house and smashes things up and kills everybody you know. That's right. What that means. Mm-hmm. There's nothing
steal
romantic.
Everything that's worth anything.
That's right. If it's not nailed down, they'll take it.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing intrinsically honorable or good about any of that. None of it. We're becoming a bit more honest with these things these days, right? But the truth is, there are no conquering heroes and great warlords, and these people that build empires. No, I'm sorry, mass murderers, every last one of them. That's right, Fleece Surf. We have Fauci's. We don't have Da Vinci's anymore.
That's right.
Which is interesting because based on our population size, we should be drowning in Da Vinci's. Right?
That's right.
But yeah, they can't get funding, I guess. So, but this is the problem, really, right? You look at the world and all the things that we hold dear. It's all the wrong things.
There's the music, all of the music.
I have to be joking. But just when that's just when the audio gets good. Okay, look, hey, this has been Plato's Cave. Thank you so much for allowing us into your homes and hearts and ears for this 1 hour. Don't go anywhere. Something's going to come up. But most of all, please be safe, and we'll see you on Sunday.